This weather is insane, even in June. Oh my god.
Now we're in a storm.
Yep, the full-on storm is coming.
Another din, another couple of mountain passes in the pouring rain. It's become like a constant while we're in here. Some of the hardest driving, but I've never done this many mountain passes in my life, and it's been like 5 days in Colorado.
The nice thing we can be reassured about is that there's a Honda in front of us who does not have all-wheel drive, so if he can make it, we can make it.
I don't know if he's high. Here's a point I want to make. Colorado advertises the cannabis for tourism all the time. It's in all the pamphlets in the magazines. However, if you're doing what we're doing, which is the only way to do Colorado properly, by car, you don't want to smoke on these roads. Smoking and driving is the worst idea here. You'll be so scared. So the guy or girl in the Honda we were just making fun of for driving very, very sloppily on a mountain pass just turned around and went back. He couldn't take it, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, look out there. This is exactly what it's like being in Colorado right now. You're like, oh, blue sky is pretty. Then this giant dark cloud comes over you. And it's not necessarily just a light rain shower like it is in the Northwest. It could be pouring rain and like super gusty winds. Could be hail, like you don't know what's in it. So it's been a little scary, and they come really suddenly. Like we were just doing that hike and we were like, oh, it's pleasant, so nice out, and all of a sudden it starts pouring.
Driving stuff here. Don't get high. Driving crazy mountain passes today at the very crest of the Rocky Mountains here in Colorado, and somewhere there in the distance is the tallest peak in Colorado, Mount Elbert. Susie's trying to identify it.
What's funnier is it looks like beyond that is a mountain called Mount Massive, but for some reason Elbert is actually taller.
Something ominous is going on here because we were walking down the street in Breckenridge last night and there was a Colorado checklist and of all the things you have to do, and one of those things was to drive Independence Pass, and I was like, I wonder where that is. And we start driving today and then we start seeing these signs. Independence Pass is open, limit of vehicle 35 feet, it's open. So it makes it sound like the toughest of all the mountain passes, and we just entered it. So we're gonna have some fun, and my only hope is the weather stays good. They weren't kidding, this is the craziest mountain pass ever. We just came from down there somewhere and we climbed almost completely vertically all the way here. 10 miles per hour limit on the turns. Very cool. It's probably the highest we've ever driven.
The highest and definitely the most summits and peaks. You know, because you can get up, you can get fairly close to Rainier, Baker, Mount Hood, but man, there's just so many here. We don't even know the names of them, but
there are too many.
They're amazing. Yeah, they're all amazing.
It looks like if you just walk up this gravel here and you'll get to a summit. Independence Pass selfie. We've climbed the highest paved road across the Continental Divide, which is really the highest point of the Rockies. Now we know better what the Continental Divide is, because if you are an early explorer, you follow rivers, and you get to this point here in the Rockies where there are no rivers that you can climb because they all originate here, and on each side of the divide they go either east or west. But while you're in these mountains you cannot find the river to follow, so going through these passes is extremely difficult for explorers early on, and now these roads are really doing wonders for us to be able to see this. Looks like this Casco Peak is one of the highest in this La Plata right there. Yeah, that's La Plata. That's the highest right here at 14,343 feet. Here it's extremely cold in the winter and windy, and some lichen thrives, and even ants. It's very, very interesting. This is something like day 11, 12, I don't even know, I'm losing count, but we have seen so much. My mind is reaching capacity at this point. The Continental Divide, Independence Pass, the much cooler one, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, now actually begins the harder, more nerve-wracking part, the decline. It's amazing how far this little car has taken us.
It's a great car.
It
It's
is.
definitely a step up from the car we had before.
That's true, oh my god, the brakes, remember? Oh.
I could not have done it in my little Sentra.
Yeah, you couldn't make me do this.
So, yeah. We were just up on that summit and it was wide open, it was sunny, and weather felt wonderful, and then you come down and it gets dark, like scary dark, and it goes back to just this Colorado weather and these clouds. When these clouds kind of descend, they are so thick and dark and you're not really sure what's in them.
This was the coolest driving I've ever done, probably.
Yes, Independence Pass, it deserves to be on the Colorado bucket list, so definitely try to do it if you can, but it looks like it's seasonal. You can reach out and touch rocks. Oh wow, you can see the rain kind of coming in. Wow.
Backing up here now, I hope.
So this is kind of like a one-lane road. Look at this. It's not very, yeah, it's not obvious, but yeah, it is. This weather is insane. Even in June. Oh my god. Yep, a full-on storm is coming.
So
oh my god.
I was praying that this weather doesn't catch us when the road is open and you're hanging off the edge, which I got my wish.
Yeah.
But now it's still not really over, and we're getting massive raindrops and really strong winds.
Yep. And that is what's terrifying about doing any outdoor activities here. Like, it changes incredibly fast.
You can't see anything anymore.
Wow.
Now the rocks are coming because of the floods.
Yeah, really. Like, this is like flood kind of conditions here. So at the bottom of this hill, there's a campground called Difficult Campground, and you'd have to be insane to want to camp there. kind of weather.
So here's the issue right now that we're lower. The water saturation is becoming really a lot, and it's falling down from the slopes as well, so the road is flooding very fast, and all it takes is one hydroplane and you're off the mountain. So it's really dangerous. You guys remember that one car that got scared in the very beginning and backed out?
It was probably a wise decision.
We came into Aspen through a huge storm, and we arrived into our lodging here, the mountain chalet, next to St. Regis on the other side.
So the rain came down really hard, but it looks like it's already started drying up. So that's good news.
Still kind of chilly though. I feel underdressed, but we'll see. Now we're gonna go explore what this place is about.
Maybe we should put pants on.
Yeah, let's go dress
Let's
up a bit more. One of the coolest things I think we found about Colorado is that all the small towns that are popular with tourists have trail systems beginning right from downtown. You simply park your car or get up from your room and you get on the trail immediately in 5 minutes. And big networks exist starting from every downtown.
The other nice thing is that they've really documented these trails well. So yeah, they have like these maps and they're positioned in different places, and their online maps have also been really great. It's because there's some areas that don't really give you all of the possible trails, and then it's harder to go out and do things. But here, they're encouraging you to go out, pick a trail, and just start walking.
Let's try this one here, the Hunter Creek Trail. Another really cool thing is that you often see signs that this is private property, but it's effectively being donated to the community by letting it become a park. This is the kind of environment you could have if you lived in Aspen. Your own lodge with your own creek and a staircase which takes you right to the river. I'm pretty sure this is what this place is all about. And right there is the ski slope. So you have it all right here in pristine beauty. Another amazing example about what living in Aspen gives you and why it's so famous is this kind of place where it's a clearing in the forest and you see how everyone has a piece of paradise to themselves over the river here in the valley. Simply very pleasant, just like a mountain village. It's a countryside type of experience, your own personal escape. Right off downtown you have these trails. It's your own little forest paradise. And we emerge in town.
Welcome, welcome. Nice view.
Wow. Ah,
That was a nice trip.
what an environment.
I liked it.
Yeah.
That was really fun to just be curious about something and just follow it and be like, I wonder what's at the end. It was really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, this open feeling is so good right here. You're in the countryside. High mountain countryside. We're walking through Aspen, just through random neighborhood streets, and I think that's actually the best thing to do in this town, to actually find out why people like it and why it's so famous.
We're on West Smuggler Street, and this is Triangle Park behind us for reference. But yeah, we're just admiring all the houses here. I always like doing that. I did that a lot growing up in Hawaii. I used to just do my Sunday morning runs through the nice neighborhoods, and you just kind of daydream about the houses.
Yeah, and you can inspire yourself and see these environments that are created with perfection, to perfection. And here's what we're seeing. And up on there are the mountains that you can ski. All of the cottages is like a fairy tale perfection. We woke up at 7 o'clock in Aspen and we decided to take a morning hike.
So we're on the Smuggler's Trail.
Yes.
On Smuggler's Mountain. There's actually a mine that we walked by on the way down. It's already open, so maybe on the way back, because right now the sun is out there, not really on us. So maybe when we come back, the sun will actually be on the mountain, or on the mine, so we can go check it out.
Yeah, and in the meantime, you get the views right away. There's the whole valley here in front of you. Climbed up on top of the Smuggler mountain trail here, and you get a very nice overlook of the whole valley where Aspen is situated. It's not a very hard trail, but if you're not used to the oxygen, it does get a bit hard. But it's what people seem to do in the morning just to start their day and to get their routine fitness level up. We're coming down the mountain now, and more people are coming out biking it and hiking it. It seems like the most popular spot here. And of course, the view of Aspen is great here. And it really just shows you what Aspen is. It's just a little mountain town, almost a village nestled in this valley. Many people here have very large houses, obviously, which are very expensive, but if you really wanted to, you can just rent a room for a weekend or two and just enjoy the same thing they do. It's not really untouchable. Turns out there's a mine tour right by downtown Aspen.
It's called Smuggler Mine, which makes sense because that was the Smuggler Trail, and I think the mountain is also called Smuggler. And it's by appointment only, so unfortunately we can't do the tour, but now that we know about it, we'll try, ooh, a bunny. We'll try to make a better effort next time. If you had to be working in the mines all day, at least you can come out to this every day.
One last stop in Aspen before we take off.
The gondola! We're gonna see if it's free or not.
Yeah. Oh, it's not. It says purchase tickets inside. So, Telluride, free gondola. One last thing to mention about Aspen. You know, it's obviously a very nice place, but it's also famous for being the residence of Hunter Thompson, who wrote famous things like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and the Rum Diaries and so on. And he's really kind of the founder, or at least one of the founders, of American counterculture. And back in my early 20s, when I was thinking of being a writer, he was a huge influence. And if you think about it, what he invented is called the gonzo journalism style. And what that means is you make the journalist or the storyteller a central part of the story. And if you think about it, that's actually what we do at YouTube. So his influence still remains even generations later in people like us. And we don't try to be counterculture or anything like that, but the method of storytelling he invented is also valid for us. We're about to leave Aspen with very good impressions, and one of the things we did not put on camera was our first fine dining experience in about 4 months.
So we kind of lucked out because we were just walking around looking for dinner last night, and we saw this place with some nice outdoor seating, and we just kind of walked up and we're like, hey, can we sit down? And they kind of looked at their menus or their reservations and we're like, no, we're fully booked. Then they're like, oh wait, we have one table that's open. So we snagged the only open table. and got to sit outside. It was really pleasant, and it was called Clark's Aspen.
Yeah, and the food was among the best, maybe because we haven't had fine dining for a long time, and we used to all the time, especially since Susie works in the industry. We used to eat out like crazy, and we've been off it just cooking at home for 4 months, like everybody else pretty much. But here in Aspen, the fine dining was open, and I had one of the best burgers ever in my life, I think, there.
Yeah, so we ordered 3 plates and just shared it, and 2 of those plates were actually Spanish inspired. Well, 4 plates if you count dessert. So 2 of them were Spanish inspired. The first one was a Spanish octopus, and you know, despite the fact that we're landlocked, I guess we didn't care last night because we ordered it. It was amazing, had really great textures, and one of the best preparations of octopus I think I've had in a long time, if maybe ever.
Yeah, same with the burger. And then we also had a chicken, which was very good. And finally we had a Basque take on the almond cake, and we had cherries and ice cream. It was just so amazing.
It was really, really good. But yeah, we chose not to vlog that just so we could kind of relax, take in the atmosphere. But we did take some photos on a cell phone, so I'll go ahead and show those to you.
Yeah, so fine dining, exquisite hiking here, super nice weather today, and the river walk yesterday was magical. So yeah, Aspen is definitely recommended. It's a nice place, very nice place. It's not very obvious at first why it's so hyped, and once you immerse into what actually people do here, then you realize why. We climbed up here, and no joke, it's one of the best views, and especially with these clouds now because of the storm. This is what we're seeing right here.